because we're not taught any of this in school, right? I had no idea that we have this energy field and that our thoughts create our reality, and that if we really want to change something, we need to really work on the inner parts.
Hi there, Soulful Mama. Welcome to the Soul Care Mom podcast. I'm Catherine Wilde of soulcaremom.com. I'm a mom of 3 amazing kids, a soul care mom coach, and a yoga and meditation teacher. I've helped hundreds of women, and I'm here to help you feel calm and find your unshakable confidence as a mom. If you're ready to stop living in survival mode and you're ready to drop the mom guilt and overwhelm, this podcast is for you. Think of this as a lunch date with a girlfriend. Grab a cup of tea and get cozy. It's time to get honest and vulnerable and shift the traditional mindset around motherhood. Be sure to subscribe to be the first to know when new episodes are released. Get ready to grow and feel empowered as a mom. I'm here for you, Mama. Let's get started. If you are feeling energetically stuck, you are not going to want to miss this episode. As moms, we juggle endless roles, tasks, and emotions. The hustle and bustle of everyday life often leaves us drained, stuck, and feeling unfulfilled. We are so good at taking care of others, but how often do we really take the time to check in with our own energy? Today, we are exploring energy healing. Today, I'm chatting with Missy Toye Ozeas, an energy healer and transformation guide who shares her journey with energy healing and how it can help you to get unstuck and release self-doubt so you can thrive. Hi, Missy. I am so happy you're here.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here too.
Hey, I am so excited to dive into everything energy healing. But I would love to start just by hearing about your journey with energy healing and how you came to do the beautiful work that you do.
Yeah, so this is actually a second career for me. So I went to film school and I worked in television and film and commercials for a long time. And during the time that I was, I was going to say was a mom. I'm still a mom. When my kids were little, when I was pregnant, I was working in production. And then now my kids are older, they went to right around when my son was in high school, I suddenly realized I was kind of, I think, bored at work. And suddenly I just was feeling like, I know there's something more. And I wasn't sure what that was. And I think this happens to a lot of us is we start down a road and it's great for a while, but then there's another calling. And so I felt that calling for something more, to do something more. And I really wanted to help people, but I didn't know how. So I went back to meditation because what happened was when I became a mom, I actually dropped my meditation practice. So for all the moms, I'd say if you can't even just get 5 minutes in there for yourself at meditating. But for me, the honest truth is I didn't do it. I was a working mom and I just was frazzled, I think, and I didn't do it. So I recommitted to my meditation practice. And every day I ask the universe to show me who I am. And really, when we ask the universe a question, it answers us in some way that we might not, might be surprising. So what happened to me is I heard a voice, and it said, "You are a healer." And I was like, oh my God, okay, that's like the last thing I thought I would hear because I don't have a background in healing. I didn't know what energy was. I didn't have a background in any of this. I'm super practical. So I was like, okay, that's too weird. But inside, I could feel that it was true. And that's the other piece is the more we sit with our stillness, the more we can hear our own intuition. And I heard my intuition, I could feel it in my body, but my mindset, it was too out there for me, like an energy healer. That's just weird. So it took a long time for my beliefs to match really my calling. And so, just through a series of different events, I was gifted an energy healing certification program by a teacher, and that was amazing. And just I kept following those little pings, like what was like, ooh, this is interesting. Okay, I'm going to try that, and I just followed that and allowed myself to follow that. And then what ended up happening is I just took a bunch of certifications and I practiced and just started getting clients word of mouth. And now it's my entire life and my business. And I love it.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. And just just in that journey, like there's so many like gold nuggets already, not taking time to take time for that meditation and stillness. Cause like you were saying, like when you ask the question, are we even taking time to hear the answers? Like are we still enough with ourselves? Yeah, I love that. And I think that so many of us as moms can relate to that. Sometimes we kind of lose ourselves in the everyday and we forget like yeah that it's okay to reconnect to follow those passions, to listen to that intuition, even though it might sound so unconventional, that it's okay to follow that and to see where that takes you. And I love that you were gifted that course, and all of these things kind of come to you when we're open to them. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Welcome. And that, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, I was gonna ask more about energy healing, but if you had more to say around that.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that I think when we open up to allow um, answers to come to us, that they will come to us. So when we allow ourselves that space or that time to ask the questions or just be open to hearing information in different ways, because we might hear a voice or we might see a billboard that has the answer, or a friend might come in at the right time, but we're always supported. It's just as moms, I know we can feel like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. I'm supporting everybody else and we feel unsupported. But the truth is, the universe is always supporting us. We just need to ask and also start watching, like, oh, wow, like, look at that. I was so supported in this way or that way, and recognizing the ways we're supported.
Yes, yeah, it's always there. And I love the practice of like appreciation or gratitude for that, because when we start to intentionally notice, like, oh, wow, look at this gift in my life, or, how
Yeah.
wonderful this is, like you see more of it. Because it's always there, right? It's really easy to get caught up in all the things that, we feel are problems, or, yeah, the stories in our head. I love, yeah, thank you for that. Um, okay, so, I think, we're all familiar, like everything is energy, right? But what is it when you talk about energy healing? What does that mean? What are the benefits of using energy healing?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So actually, I would say start by saying energy healing and energy work is a very broad sort of area. So I'll talk about my process because that's the only one that I really know. But just know that there's many types of energy healers and many types of, because, and the reason is because we all have specific gifts and talents we were born with. So every energy healer is going to have a different set of like intuitive gifts or training or life experience. So every healer is going to be different. So in some ways, I think of it's like an art form, because we're using the information in a certain way that's particular to us and the way that we see or experience things. So I'll start by saying that. The other piece I want to say is I got really tripped up by the word or the phrase energy healing, because healing to me is like, well, this is what I thought. I was like, well, that makes it sound like something's wrong with you and I'm going to come in and fix you, which is totally wrong. If you look at healing as a word, it actually means to balance. And I was like, oh, that feels a lot better. And it's not that any of us are broken. We're not. We're born whole and worthy and powerful. So my job is just to come in and help rebalance your energy field. And so I'll get into what that is. So quantum physics will tell us that everything is made of energy. So our bodies are made of energy, and not only our bodies, but we all emanate or have an energy field that's all around us. So I like to explain it like an egg. So if you imagine an egg, our physical body is like the yolk, and then the white part of the egg is, say, our aura. That's the energy field all around us. And then that eggshell is what I call the aura filter. And it's sort of like our energetic boundaries and the way that we filter information uh, in and out, and how we view the world and the world views us. So, what's really important to know is that all of the non physical parts of ourselves, so that means our thoughts, our stories, you mentioned stories, our beliefs, our emotions actually have weight, and they can be found in specific places in our bodies. And that's my weird gift is that I can see energy. So I can see those pieces like a belief that's in your body. So we'll be able to find where it is in your body exactly, what that belief is exactly, and the age you were when you trapped that belief or that emotion. And the way that we do it is I ask your body a question. So I do actually work mostly with women. I would say 99% of the people I work with are women, and I'd say most are moms. Not all, but most are moms. And I work with a lot of also women who are trying to get pregnant. And that sounds like, okay, wait, that seems kind of weird. But there's actually reasons, energetic reasons why we might be having a hard time for, I'm just saying as an example, becoming pregnant. And I'm for everything. So we should go to the Western doctor or acupuncture or anything. But actually, the great thing is that I could ask your body, why are you having a hard time becoming pregnant? And your body will actually light up and show me all the reasons why, because there's often beliefs in there. Like, so I'll give you an example. So I was working with somebody who's having a really hard time. I think she was trying for 2 years and couldn't get pregnant. And then when we asked her body the question, her body showed me she had this belief that was actually in her brain, that was a fear of, I forget if it was fear of child. It might have been something which sounds it was something along the lines of fear of childbirth, but it wasn't her belief. It was like actually through her ancestral line. So now that sounds super crazy, but what it was is like her mom's mom or something in her female line. A woman had a fear of childbirth, and that belief lives in our bodies in the same way that we get our eye color, our hair color from our ancestors. We also have beliefs that come in through our line, and they show up in our bodies. And so even though this woman didn't have that belief necessarily, she couldn't consciously say that, we found it. And she's like, oh yeah. And then I asked her, oh, well, what about your grandma? Do you know anything? And she told me, yeah, she was a woman who lived on a farm. There's no doctors. They lived far from everybody else. She had 8 children. It was hard for her to feel supported in that time period, having a baby. So these are ways that we can get information from the body, and also ways that these thoughts and beliefs, which aren't even ours. So in this particular case, this wasn't even her belief, but actually was stopping her body from having a baby because there was that fear, like, oh no, if I'm in childbirth, it's going to be scary. I could die, and something like that. So that's sort of an example of how our beliefs can stop us from having what we want or being who we want. And they might not be true beliefs at all. We just need to go in and find them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that. Thank you for explaining that so well. And yeah, so those limiting beliefs, I love that you shared that, our thoughts and everything have energy to them. And so if there's a belief, that we are holding on to, that we're stuck in, is there a way that we can ourselves tap into that and recognize that? Or do we need to, have somebody guide us through that?
No,
Yeah.
so that's a great question. So there's a lot of different ways. So a couple answers. There's a lot of different ways to release energy. So these beliefs that live in our body, we can release them through, well, okay, we'll say the energy. So if we're holding stuck energy, when I think of like a belief, it's stuck somewhere in the body. So we really need to move it out. And our bodies naturally are moving energy all the time. So there is a actual way that energy moves through our body, comes through our crown, it comes up through our bodies, it releases down our grounding cord. So there are actually ways that we can see and measure that energy moves throughout the body. And so one way to release beliefs and things that don't serve you, things that are stuck, is just getting things out of your body in a physical way. So that could be dancing, exercising, running. We can also release energy when we journal, when we talk to a friend, when we do talk therapy. We could go to an energy healer. So that's all ways to release energy. I have an energy clearing meditation. It's free on my website. You could do that, and I'll guide you through how to release energy. However, if you want to get more specific, well, okay, that's another thing. Just send me an email. I have a worksheet of how to find your limiting beliefs, and that you can do it yourself, right? So you want to start examining what's underneath, like what is causing you. So let's talk it through. Like if we have a belief, or if we want something, like say we're a mom and we want to start a business, but we're like, no, I can't do that. We want to examine why. So we want to keep digging, like, why do I believe that I cannot create a business? And then you want to list all the reasons why. And then we want to keep asking, well, why that? Why that? Why that? So we keep asking why till we dig to the bottom. We find there is a big belief under there that we're holding, and it's like the foundation of all the beliefs. So if we could pull that one out, kind of the other ones start tumbling down. And that's how I usually see it when I work with somebody. So if I work with someone, it's quicker because I can just go, oh, it's that, it's that, it's that, and then we release it. But certainly you can do it on your own. You can do it through that process, or you can just start clearing energy yourself by, even if you don't know specifically what it is, by moving your body or talking to people. We release energy.
Do you feel overwhelmed and anxious? Do you wish you could stop losing your temper with your kids and just have more fun as a mom? Do you crave finding more time to do the things you love without feeling guilty? I get it, Mama. I've been there. That's why I created the Vibrant Mom Life membership. Imagine what life would look like if you could finally get out of survival mode, consistently find time for yourself, and be the calm, present mom you've always wanted to be. This membership will help you step out of anxiety and overwhelm and help you find time for yourself without the guilt. Inside Vibrant Mom Life, you'll find monthly themes that will help you shift your mindset, get out of survival mode, and find time for the things you love, all while being the mom you want to be. Plus, you'll find guided meditations and yoga practices that will help you effortlessly infuse your days with self-care. And I know that some days are harder than others, so you'll even find a library of short and sweet guided affirmations, so you can simply press play and reconnect with your inner calm in just minutes. Join Vibrant Mom Life today by going to soulcaremom.com/membership so you can stop running on empty and truly enjoy mom life. I can't wait to welcome you inside, Mama. I love that. I love that you don't have to know specifically what it is.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, and I love that you shared, movement and just what it like emotion, like energy and motion, right? Like dancing or like just letting it, yeah. So much of our movement, like literally, is very rigid throughout the day, and so like feeling into your body and moving, that's so powerful. And I love that we can work through this ourselves, but also it can be so powerful to have someone to guide us, right? To especially when it's something we're not familiar with, to step into this new way of looking at things and yeah, being with yourself and exploring, yeah, what's going on for you. I love that.
And
Um, yeah.
so much. There's so much more. I'll have to share. Like, I didn't know any of this when my kids were little. And I sort of wish, like, oh, I wish I knew because we're not taught any of this in school, right? I had no idea that we have this energy field and that our thoughts create our reality. And that if we really want to change something, we need to really work on the inner parts. Or if we're so exhausted, like so many moms, we're so exhausted all the time, there are things we can do with our energy to kind of refresh ourselves so that we're not so exhausted. So things like little hacks, little tricks that we can do to make things easier. Also, as you know, right, when our energy, when we're feeling centered and calm, right, our kids feel that, our babies feel that, even if we're pregnant and the baby in the womb feels that, because that's the other thing is I work with a lot of moms with their babies after a traumatic birth. And that was something I didn't realize until I started seeing it because my own daughter, she has some anxiety and she had a traumatic birth. We had like a 30-hour very traumatic birth. The cord was around her neck. So if you think about that, so my belief is we're a spirit with a body. So at birth, right, the spirit comes in, the body, and then we're learning. From that moment on, we're like, okay, how does it work? What are the rules here? So you can imagine if you're just coming into this earth and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die, right? I have a cord around my neck. You're actually learning the world is unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
And if we think about what anxiety is that feeling that we're not safe. So a lot of the work too, and I didn't really realize this until I started working with people, not babies, but people who had anxiety. And then I'd ask their body questions and it would show me like their birth. And I'd say, oh gosh, do you know what your birth was like? And they're like, oh yeah, it was traumatic. This and this happened. And it's like, okay, we need to clear your birth because we need to look and ask, what are the emotions that you felt at that time and you trapped in your body? What beliefs did you start to believe about the world that's unsafe, that continues to be like activated in our system? So then I started working with a lot of moms with their babies. Like if they had a traumatic birth, we can do it. I don't even have to see the baby. We connect, we could do it online or something. But that just clearing that out creates just neutrality. So the baby comes in neutral without this activation. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that was, one of my favorite quotes is that Einstein quote is like, I'm gonna butcher it here, but it's the most important decision you make is whether you believe you live in a friendly universe. And that's that feeling of being
Yeah.
safe here and feeling supported, and yeah, just knowing that you're loved and supported and walking through life in that way.
Yes.
Yeah, with that deep knowing. Yeah. And I love that you're talking about birth and all the things when I went through my first, when I went through my first pregnancy with my first daughter, um, like I did this program and it was a hypnosis program and they had you imagine creating this bubble around yourself and you pictured the bubble and you added the qualities that you wanted to support yourself with around there. And so when you were with people that were saying things that were giving you beliefs or thoughts, that you didn't want to take in, and so it reminds me of that egg that you are talking about, just you're intentionally creating, yeah, that the energy around you and in you, and so beautiful and powerful.
Yeah, and I love the way that you say that because that's what I always say is that our power is that we get to choose. So we're not victims. We get to choose the thoughts and beliefs and emotions that live inside our egg or our energy field. That's our power. We get to choose that. I know it doesn't always feel like it. And that's why doing some clearing or meditation or, moving energy around and out will help. But ultimately, especially like those of us who are empathic or who tend to pick up a lot of emotions from other people, it's really that we forgot. And it's okay that we forgot. No one really reinforces this, but we have seniority and authority over our own energy field. We get to choose that. And that's our choice, that's our power. So we get to choose the beliefs. So you might say, well, that's not true. Like if you say, I'm worthy of a healthy partner or something. If you have other beliefs in there, you might say, well, look at my past. See all those times where I picked, partners who weren't nice to me or something like that. That's that's just because there was a belief under there that maybe you weren't worthy of it. So moving that out, we present then with this more empowering belief, like I am worthy of good partnerships or friends or whatever it is. And from that place, whether it's quote true or not, it doesn't really matter. Truth is what we decide is true.
Yeah.
So we can just decide that we're worthy. And I know that sounds like, okay, yeah, well, that's really hard to do. Yeah, I do realize there's other things we need to do to get there, but ultimately, our truth is what we decide it is. And from that place, we can walk out into the world and
Yeah.
then create back because everything's a reflection back.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you get to decide, why, if we're currently deciding, things that are not, that are keeping us from living our best life, and we could choose otherwise, like, why not like lean into that? Why not explore that and see where that takes you? Right. I love
Yes.
that. Yeah.
And I do want to say, though, because I kind of did a poor example there, because I don't want to in any way say that we choose to have abusive partners or things, because things do happen in this world, and it's not like, oh, that's your fault, you thought that way. I don't mean to say that at all. There are things that are outside of our control, and we don't bring it all on ourselves at all. But what I'm saying is that it's fun, and we could say it's an experiment to try, like, what would it be like if I showed up in, like, saying, today I'm a calm mom. Like, what would that be like for that day or that hour, right? Like, what would it be like if I presented, like, I decided I'm going to be a calm mom for the next 1 hour? Like, what would it be like? Would things change?
Yeah. Yeah. Just really embodying what that would feel like and what that version of you would show up as. Yeah. That is so powerful. I love it. Thank you for sharing all of this. And I would love to know, we've talked about different elements of self-care and like meditation and all the things, but I'd love to hear, what are some of your favorite ways to reconnect with yourself, to show your self-love?
Yeah. So I meditate every morning, and I also connect with my spirit guide. So with this work, well, I believe we're all connected to our spirit guides. We all have guides, and we have guides, in fact, some who are with us our whole lives, or some who are just with us like when we're becoming a new mom, right? We don't know how to do that. So we have a guide who helps show us, teach us, guide us how to do that. So I'm always connecting to my guides as much as I can to help me in this work and just to help support me. So, and it's just like a friendship, right? You want to show up for your friends. So you want to show up and be in connection. For me, it's important to with my spirit guide. So that, and then at the end of the night, I also do like a rain meditation, and that's like a quick thing could recommend for anybody, even if you just do it for a couple minutes. Insight Timer has, it's free, has a rain sound, or just get a rain sound. And just sitting there, if you can imagine with the sound of the rain, just clearing your energy out. And even that, because you're literally holding the intention while you're listening to the rain, which helps. I'm holding the intention to just release my day. So any stress, any fear, anxiety I'm feeling, releasing maybe my partner's energy, maybe my kid's energy, or my coworker. So just a way to release, so that when you're going to bed more in your own energy. The whole point is to be in your energy.
What a beautiful way to end the day. I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that. And I always love to ask, you've been on this, beautiful motherhood journey, your business transition, you're tuning into your intuition, all of the things. If you could go back in time to an earlier version of yourself and share some wisdom with her, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to follow the joy more because maybe this is a product, Chinese American, so it might be part of that, but, or being a woman. But I felt that there were a lot of shoulds in my life, and I have to say, I accepted them, right? I'm not a victim of it, but I did live my life with, I should do this, I should do this. And it was so ingrained. I almost couldn't identify it, but looking at where I should do things wasn't always beneficial, only because it wasn't really something I wanted to do. Maybe it was what I thought I should do if I wanted this other thing, or what was expected of me. And there were a lot of times in my life where I did the unexpected, but a lot of my life, I should do this, I should do this. Even like things like, oh, I should say yes to, being this, in PTA, when really I wanted to be in the garden club or something, right? It's like even silly things, following my intuition and things that were joyful really get us more to our purpose, and they make us happier. And that's the way that the universe nudges us when we have a desire or joy. That's like, yes, go that way. And I kind of wish I'd done that more, or been more conscious of that.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to ask a quick favor. This is an independent podcast. It's produced, recorded, and marketed by me, so I would love your help. Please share this podcast with your friends. Post about it on social media. Tell your girlfriends over lunch. Share about it with the moms at the park or at your next PTA meeting or homeschool co-op meetup. And please take a moment to subscribe and to leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. It will help more moms find and benefit from this work, and it will make my heart so happy. Oh, I love that. And that's so true, right? Like, noticing the shoulds is really important. And then also, those little nudges, the things that light you up, those are also ways your intuition is speaking, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
So amazing. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I love your energy. And thank you for sharing everything with us today. Can you let us know where we can find you online and connect with you?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Missy Energy Healing, and also my website, same thing. It's missyenergyhealing.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll add those to the show notes so everybody can connect with you. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. This was amazing.
Thank you, Catherine. So nice to share time with you.
Hi, love. This is just a reminder that Soul Care Mom offers information that's shared with love and intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. You should not rely on this information as a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any concerns or questions about your health, you should always consult with a trusted healthcare provider. Thank you for being here, and know that I am sending you so much love. Thanks for joining me, Mama. I'm over here smiling from ear to ear and giving you a big virtual hug. I love spending this time with you. You are amazing for showing up and carving out this space to nourish your soul. If you are loving the Soul Care Mom podcast, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. And if you are ready to start your mornings feeling calm and energized, get the Kickstart Your Calm Morning Guide, a self-care morning ritual for moms, as a free gift when you join the Soul Care Mom community. Head over to soulcaremom.com/kickstart and enter your email address to get your free gift and start feeling like a calm mom today. Sending you so much love, Mama.